for higher GC News, Mema Obibia Aquaba, Hadia, Lóoters, and hot news, and Aremeyaw Bremo. And so you subscribe to channel idea, Bomodian say over subscribe. Dobe say over click the subscribe button. Now barely notification, we answer video for be upload when the first person once Ebeka ASR video. I feel we are now like video. Give us a thumbs up now fish share my work for so that when you be here now who ends somewhere echoes or Ghana memo. Afi Gyamfi aye ensemo abeto ye pono so aye ora operation recover all loot aye peni awodano aye Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa MP for Northton na wodi ensem bebre atuja wochese findings awane ye nyina no eno ye stage 1 stage 2 no one day report no be my the president John Dramani Mahama na fi ehona na attorney general for ne special prosecutor ne ade nyina bebem na chese wana timi alutu nyina no ye be chensi wo mo na no na wadi to just say eye cantonment to say sase wo ho ne ade no amount for to to say 150,000 Ghana cedi 160 180 no just say sase ni nyina kwara say if you come marketer you turn this thing it's in dollars ne ade billions of dollars na so 180 na Okudzeto edi ensem bebre atuja wabrebro ensem bebre so yekotie ensema ye Samuel Okudzeto operation recover all loot ora for one ensema one day tuja hinti ye ensema ekoso hinti ye.
Civil servants, public servants, if we don't move in to protect and salvage what is left, I mean, just ask yourself, if the governments that came before us, since the Nkrumah time all the way to Rawlings, President Akufo, if bungalows were being demolished, civil servants were being sacked, as we have seen now within this state capture period, what will have been left for the Akufo Addo Bawumia government? So this is a national campaign. All of us want to see a country that works for everybody. We are all appalled when we see that land in cantonments, people are buying it for 160,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 180,000 cedis. Land that on the market, even if you have $700,000, $1 million, you will struggle to even get audience from a buyer. How is it that political appointees, politically exposed persons, are able to engage in these sweetheart transactions, paid a paltry, I mean, an insulted, and it's really just robbery, really robbery, let's be honest. 160,000 for land in cantonments. How much is land in Northton? You know, with 160,000, you struggle to find land enough. We are talking about prime Accra. So these are the issues. Nobody can deny the fact that over the last 8 years, we have witnessed state capture on a scale that is totally unconscionable, is repugnant, is appalling, and we want to stop.
Right, so we stay with oral because the work of the Operation Recover All Loot Committee has come under scrutiny since its institution by President John Dramani Mahama. But really, what is its role and who are the members? So the Operation Recover All Loot Oral Team, established by President John Dramani Mahama, even before he was sworn in as President of the Republic, is tasked with recovering public funds and assets unlawfully acquired by officials of the previous administration. Now, the mission of the committee is to recover misappropriated state resources and hold individuals accountable for corruption. Let's look at who the members of the committee are. So we have Daniel Yao Domelevo, who is former Auditor General. We have Nathaniel Kofi Boakye, retired police commissioner. Martin Pigbu is a private legal practitioner. And Raymond Archer, who is an investigative journalist with a member of parliament for Northton, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, as chairperson of the committee. Now, the oral team's mandate is in threefold, and this includes investigating corruption cases, recovering misappropriated resources, and prosecuting offenders. Now, let's also look at quickly some of the cases that they will be looking at. So we are looking at the presidential jet scandal. We are looking at National Cathedral Project, ambulance procurement scandal, COVID expenditure, COVID testing scandal, among others. Now, we have been joined by the chairman of the committee, the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, on the work of the committee so far. Thank you very much, Honorable, and welcome to Channel One Newsroom.
Hi, good evening, Fema. Thank you for having me, and good evening to all the distinguished viewers of Channel One TV.
Very well. So we have covered some of the trips, in your fact-finding. Tell us what the general mode of operation has been so far.
Well, thank you very much. And if you will allow me, I would like to clarify our mission.
Please go
because
on.
I heard you talk about investigations, prosecutions, and all of that. It is important to clarify that ORAL, which stands for Operation Recover All Loot, is a major plank in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's anti-corruption drive. Remember that during the 2024 campaign, President Mahama rolled out a raft of anti-corruption measures. We all know that corruption has been on the ascendancy. We have seen state capture at levels that have never been seen in the history of our country. So there was a clarion call across the country that we need to stop the hemorrhage, we need to stop the looting, we need to stop the kakistocracy and kleptocracy that had really engulfed this country, the total wastage and hemorrhage that was going on. So let us situate this in proper context. Our team, the first team that has been set up, and remember it was set up during the transitional period when he was president-elect. So if you look at the statement which the president authorized to put out, our mandate at this point is simply to gather information. That's all we are doing. Okay. We are a receptacle. We are receiving evidence, information, data. And then when we have received that, we want to make sure our report is credible, is thorough. So you see us doing field assessments, carrying out validation to make sure that the reports that have come through, either through our toll-free numbers, through our websites, our email, or people coming to volunteer information, all of those reports, we make sure we verify them, they are well validated, and then it will be put together in a comprehensive, credible, impartial report, which will be presented to His Excellency the President. So this is phase one. What we are doing is just phase one,
right?
Gathering the evidence. So when, for example, I hear the minority today hold a press conference and say that they are asking their members not to respond to our invitation. Nobody is inviting anybody. We have not been inviting people. We are not investigating people. We are not summoning people. We have not hauled anybody to appear before us. We are gathering the evidence for phase one. When we present our report, then ORAL will move into the next gear, which is phase two. And that is where the president will then bring in the Attorney General, institutions like IOCO, OSP, CID, and others, and then the prosecutions, the retrievals, the recoveries, the surcharges, the disallowances. That's where we will move to the next phase. So it is important that we situate ORAL within the appropriate phases. We are just in phase one now, which is just evidence gathering, a receptacle for whistleblowers, members of the general public, within the spirit of Article 41F, which enjoins all of us as citizens that when we see wrongdoing, when we see wastage, we see dissipation of public property, we should report it as good citizens. That is all we are doing within this phase.
Right. But let's stay with phase one. Are you getting the needed participation from Ghanaians in general, or it's mainly NDC members who are cooperating with you in terms of giving information?
To be very honest with you, the overwhelming endorsement of ORAL has been extremely impressive and absolutely incredible. We have support from a wide range of Ghanaians across the spectrum. This is not just an NDC or a partisan matter. Look, as Ghanaians, all of us must be concerned that, for example, $58 million, all we see is a pit, the world's most expensive pit. Where did that money go? We have to be concerned. let's think about what $58 million can do for our country. Look at the public servants who are being chased out of their bungalows, civil servants, public servants. If we don't move in to protect and salvage what is left, I mean, just ask yourself, if the governments that came before us, since the Nkrumah time all the way to Rawlings, President Akufo, if bungalows were being demolished, civil servants were being sacked, as we have seen now within this state capture period, what will have been left for the Akufo Addo Bawumia government? So this is a national campaign. All of us want to see a country that works for everybody. We are all appalled when we see that land in cantonments, people are buying it for 160,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 180,000 cedis. Land that on the market, even if you have $700,000, $1 million, you will struggle to even get audience from a buyer. How is it that political appointees, politically exposed persons, are able to engage in these sweetheart transactions, pay a paltry, I mean, an insulting, and it's really just robbery, really robbery, let's be honest. 160,000 for land in cantonments. How much is land in North Town? You know, with 160,000, you struggle to find land in North Town. We are talking about prime Accra. So these are the issues. Nobody can deny the fact that over the last 8 years, we have witnessed state capture on a scale that is totally unconscionable, is repugnant, is appalling, and we want it stopped. That is why some of us have even moved a private member's bill in Parliament. And today I took steps to represent that. And in that private member's bill, we are calling the Protection of State Assets Bill. We are saying that we want a law in this country that will stop politicians, politically exposed persons, from acquiring state assets, whether they are lands, whether they are hotels, whether they are river bodies, whether they are forests. I mean, don't forget that we've had a situation in recent times where a public officer dies, and in his will, our forests, our Ramsey sites are in his will, willed to a nephew forever. I mean, what is going on?
Well,
that is why we are saying that. That is why we are saying that. This is crucial. This is about Ghana. It's not NDC, MPP. It's about the future. Would there be any future left? When we have sold all the lands, where will our public servants be? When we build hospitals, where would the doctors be? Doctors should have bungalows in good proximity to our hospitals, so that when there's an emergency, we are sacking all of them to far away places. So this is a national call, issue, not partisan. And I can confirm to you that many Ghanaians see it as such, and we have received petitions, we've received evidence of looting from civil society organizations, from prominent Ghanaians, even from MPP members. You'll be surprised.
Interesting.
Leading members of the MPP.
So are you able to share some of these major cases that you've received with us?
So at this point, because we are still compiling all the cases, and we'll be presenting our report to His Excellency the President soon, I don't think it is appropriate to take the wind out of his sails. What I can tell you, avoiding specifics, is to say that so far, in terms of the petitions that have come in, is over 700.
Oh wow!
And it's been really onerous. It's such a daunting task, but there is the political will is there. We are all passionate about this. And what I like about what is going on is that we have the opportunity to show that the same passion that we exhibited in opposition, now that we are in government, we are committed to this. And what this does is that it serves as a deterrent. Those of us coming into government cannot be saying, all right, Operation Recover All Loot, and then we come and engage in the same things that Ghanaians are appalled and outraged about. So
very well.
Over 700 cases so far. but we are going through, we are doing the validation, we are doing the field visits, and making sure that the reports that will be presented to the president are really credible, and it's not about just people's imaginations, and we don't send the president and the new government on a wild goose chase.
Now, some Ghanaians have expressed concern on the formation of the oral team. Now, they believe that, or they suggest or think that it is some level of time wasting, very unnecessary, because there are state institutions mandated to go into investigation to look at persons who stand at the wrong side of the law in what your mandate require you to do. I don't know what you make of this. Do you really have to go through this? If there are persons who find themselves at the wrong side of the law, why don't we allow state institutions go straight to it and set up an oral team? Why?
So let me state very clear without ambiguity that oral has not prevented any state institution from carrying out its work. Citizens of our country can still report to state institutions, file complaints, and state institutions will do their work. We have not crippled any state institution. All we are doing is gathering evidence. That's all. We are not arresting people. We have not engaged in Gestapo raids, entering people's homes. We have not done anything of the sort. It is also important to emphasize that as we speak, we have civil society organizations like GII, for example, who actively run programs, have toll-free numbers, who encourage citizens to report corruption, report evidence of looting, evidence of misuse of state resources, embezzlement, malfeasance, and what have you. They are not the police, they are not the IOCO or OSP or SHRAJ or the Attorney General's Department. So I am really at a loss as to what people's fears, what people's anxieties, what people's sleeplessness is all about. This is, if you like, a see something, say something vehicle. And for a government which not too long ago, when they were in power, before they lost the 2024 elections, encouraged citizens to see something and say something. And you recall that former President Akufo Addo even said that he will promote the Anas principle, where people will be embedded and people should go undercover and try to report wrongdoing, corruption, and all of that. Don't you see a clear inconsistency? I mean, Article 41F is very clear. As citizens, all of us should be committed to stopping the dissipation of resources, stopping malfeasance, stopping corruption, making sure that we have a society which is clean, an ecosystem which promotes transparency and accountability. So how can anybody say that this oral team, which says that those who are privy or have information or are whistleblowers, and you see in this country, read our Whistleblowers Act. The Whistleblowers Act is very clear that citizens should be proactive, should be conscientious. If you see wrongdoing, if you see any corruption, any wastage, report it. It even says that you can report to your MP. If you read the Whistleblowers Act, it says that you can report to your chief. It says that you can report to any elder in the society. So see the philosophy, see the principle. We are encouraging citizens to be motivated, to report, to bring to the attention of people either in high office or people who, because you see, it's not everybody who has the courage, who has the resources, the stamina to probably go to a police station or file a SH0CKING report the technicalities involved. Even sometimes you need to hire a lawyer. It's not everybody who can do that. And yet they have vital information which will protect all of us. So for a long time as a country, from the 1992 Constitution to the Whistleblowers Act, we have been encouraging citizens. If you see something, say something. If you see wrongdoing, if you see corruption, if you see public property being looted, report it. Suddenly, a few Ghanaians, because they are really in the micro minority, are saying that this is something which is so wrong that we cannot live with, and this is detrimental to our progress. It's shocking. And you see, in all of these discussions, listen carefully. They have left the looters. They don't care about those who are demolishing bungalows, those who are taking our forests, those who have hijacked our river bodies and are doing galamsey. They don't seem to care about those who want to take all our Senate hotels. They don't seem to care about those who have diverted scarce resources. What they are concerned about is a few people, a team that is saying that we are just volunteers. We are grateful to His Excellency the President for reposing trust in us. We are not taking salaries. We don't take per diem. There is no remuneration whatsoever. This is purely sacrificial. And we are rather their target. We are those who have come under attack. The people who are taking our cantonments, public lands. And don't forget that under Article 257 of the 1992 Constitution, state lands, public lands, are for all of us. It is only vested in the president. So he takes care of these state lands on our behalf.
Right.
We haven't asked the president to go and share these lands with his cronies, with his cabinet colleagues, or his appointees. So it is really, really sad. It is so regrettable. It is so condemnable,
right,
that instead of supporting the people who are trying to stop the pillage, stop the plunder, they are spending all their energy, all their resources attacking us, so that those who are looting will have the free range, the total freedom to continue to loot at our detriment.
But you've mentioned
that is not patriotism. That is not nationalism.
You've mentioned the capture of state lands. Now, looking from afar, it appears that is a major area that you are looking at. Are there other areas that you are also interested in looking at beyond capture of state lands?
Yes. So beyond state lands, we are also interested in our forests. We've noticed that a number of our forest covers are gone. We are interested in that. We are also interested in our parks and gardens. There was an attempt not too long ago to sell off parks and gardens in Accra to some so-called private developer. Then in Wa, that sale has actually been done, which we are fighting. And remember, in Parliament, I summoned the local government minister who said that he did not authorize the sale of parks and gardens. Parks and gardens is under the Ministry of Local Government, and yet another ministry, the Lands Ministry, purports to have sold it to somebody who is building a filling station in Wa. We are interested in things like that. We want to take it back. Look, this is a country that already, when families want to go on a walk, they struggle. All of us, when we want to go for a walk, I mean, where is flora and fauna? Where is greenery? I mean, and we are talking about the environment. These are survival issues. So we are interested in parks and gardens. We are interested in the Ramsar sites. Our Ramsar sites have also been hijacked by unscrupulous elements in our society who have paid next to nothing, and they should not even have been put on sale. Some have just annexed it. They have just, encroached. Then we are also interested in our river bodies.
Right.
Do you know that there are some companies, some individuals who have just, taken over a whole river, blocked it, and they are engaged in illegal mining. We are also interested in that. So our report will be very, very comprehensive.
Right.
And so these are all everywhere that there has been looting, that there has been dissipation of national resources, we are interested in reporting that, making sure that our report captures all of those things so that the president will know how to act immediately, because he has a mandate, a social contract with the Ghanaian people. The Ghanaian people expect him to recover this loot. And we cannot afford to fail the president or fail the Ghanaian people.
Now, at the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned that your work is in two phases. That is phase one, gathering information and all, and then you hand over to the state institutions mandated to deal with these issues. So when does your work end?
Great question. So we are hoping to be wrapping up soon. In the next couple of weeks, we believe that we have gathered enough. We are now virtually done with field validation in the capital, where a lot of the looting happened. But we also have reports from across the country. So in the next few days from this weekend, we are going out of the capital to carry out the validation sessions. We'll make sure that all the regions are visited where we have received reports from. So in the next couple of weeks, we are hoping that we can conclude our report and then present it to His Excellency the President. And then phase two will kick in. Phase two, as I told you, will then see the actual recoveries, the prosecutions, the sanctions, the surcharges, the disallowances, and those actions that will bring back all of these state assets to the Ghanaian people, because it belongs to the Ghanaian people. It has to be collected from the wrong hands and returned to the Ghanaian people. So that's what phase two will be about.
Martin Pebu for joining us here. Now, first, how have you and other members of this committee been receiving the challenge of the legal basis of the committee of which you are a member of?
This is how we see it. You see, in the book, The Republic by Plato, Socrates is reported to have said that an unexamined life is not worth living. An unexamined life is not worth living. I mean, in current modern political discourse, they'll tell you that it applies to citizens holding leadership to account. Yes, so we see it as citizens who are asking questions. And so when we answer, it helps the political discourse, it helps in our development, right? We don't feel threatened at all by the questions they are asking, because it's a bridge. It's in there, or maybe I should refer to it simply as Kojo, right?
Yeah,
it's in Act 720, the Whistleblowers Act, that if you see any crime or a civil wrong, you can choose to go to the police, Yoko, etc. Or you can go to your member of parliament, the MD of your company, or if it's not an MD, the head of your institution. You can go to your chief. You can go to your head of family. So if you see Minister X has $1 million under his or her bed, instead of you going to the police station straight, at 720, the Whistleblowers Act 6, you can go and inform your head of family, so that your head of family will then choose to go with you. Or if you don't want to go at all, he can go alone. When it comes to crimes, etc., it's not always the owner of the thing that is stolen or destroyed or the subject of the crime.
Do we need a committee for that based on the education you are giving us?
Absolutely. Don't the English say that too many chicken don't spoil a broth, right? And I'm doing saying quite Okudzeto Ablakwa is an MP. And so if we are all helping the exercise, I don't see anything wrong. You remember when President Akufo was in office, he set up the Office of Accountability. As President Akufo, at that time the police were fully functioning. We had Iyoko, we had Shrad, etc. Yet President Akufo set up the Office of Accountability, right? Yeah, so it's always been there. Kojo, let's read through the Act 720. It helps so that other persons will be encouraged to go and buy copies and see. So it says that under Section 3, it says if you're wrong, an impropriety, and you don't want to go up yourself, you can report to any of these persons. So let's go through quickly. It says persons to whom or institutions to which disclosure of impropriety may be made. 1. Disclosure of impropriety may be made, and when they say impropriety, it includes crimes, may be made to any one or more of the following. A. An employer. So at Joy FM, this is Kwesichum, the other one, okay, all the various heads. It says an employer of the whistleblower. So Kojo, you can choose to go and inform Kwesichum instead of going to the police station. B. A police officer. C. The attorney general. So you've seen a crime, rather than go to the police station, you are going to the AG himself or herself. D. The auditor general. Can you imagine in the days of Domlovo? E. A staff of the intelligence agency. So NIB, National Security, Immigration, etc. F. A member of parliament, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. J. The Serious Fraud Office, now IOCO. H. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. I. The National Media Commission. J. The Narcotics Control Board, now authority. K. A chief. So you can go to Asante Hene. You've seen a minister taking money. Instead of going to the OSP, you choose to go and seek audience with Asante Hene so that he will take up the case. L. The head or elder of the family of the whistleblower. Let's repeat. The head or an elder of the family of the whistleblower. Then you go to M. A head of a recognized religious body. So you want to go to your pastor. N. A member of a district assembly. They didn't even say the district chief executive yet. Who come to the DC or MC. But it says a member of a district assembly.
Okay. Now the charge to former MPP appointees is to disregard your mandate. How do you react?
From what I've just read, it's obvious that it doesn't help us as a nation to disregard our mandate from the list. You see, we didn't even have enough time to exhaust the list. So it's obvious. As I've said, the reason I will not use negative words on their cause is that we are building a democracy together. You remember a few months ago,
sure.
Yes, I was all over radio asking Akufo Addo and Bawumia tough questions. Yes, so that's the same thing they are doing. So to the extent that Akufo Addo and Bawumia didn't shut me down, it will look very odd that at this time I'll begin to say people should shut up. No, it would not gel. It just would look too bad for our democracy. So by all means, let them ask all the questions. That's what Socrates said, that citizens also should be involved in the democracy. The more they ask questions, then the better the outcomes, because we'll be careful. We haven't invited any persons at stage 1, this phase 1. But if you read the NDC manifesto, which the people of Ghana thought was better and voted for JM, they said there will be stages. So after the phase 1, where we are collecting evidence, etc., there will be stage 2, where we would go on to help the law enforcement agencies directly. And the OSP issued a statement yesterday in the half-yearly report. They said they are going to work with ORAL because that is law.
Okay.
But as I said, let the minority ask questions. It makes our democracy better.
Do stay with me. We also have on the phone line MP for Swami, John Darko, who actually addressed this part of the MPP press conference earlier today. Grateful to you for joining us, John Darko. Is there something the MPP is afraid of regarding the work of the oral committee? Because of it, you are insisting that it is illegal when actually it is explained to you on several occasions that they are simply gathering facts to be presented to the next AG.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. And regards to all our dear listeners, I've listened to my brother, Mr. Pebu, on this issue, and I'm surprised that he goes on and on and on with the Whistleblowers Act. If you look at the law, clearly, the law on disclosure is clear. Section 3 that he read, it lists a number of people, an employer of whistleblower, like he said, a police officer, an AG, auditor general, a staff of intelligence agency, a member of parliament, serious form of office. Everybody should look at Section 3 of the Whistleblowers Act. Now, if you take Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, who is a member of parliament, and so if anybody feels that some crime has been committed, it can go to him. Let's ask my friend, my learned friend, does he fall into any of these categories? Is he a member of the National Media Commission? The former police officer, Kofi Boakye, is he a member of the Narcotics Control Board? Mr. Domlevo, is he a member of the District Assembly? Is he a chief? Is he a head of any institution? Is he a head of any recognized religious body? The Whistleblowers Act he's talking about has the people you can disclose an information to, not a group of people set up by a president. In any case, what formed the basis? And we've made this point that when now His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama set up the oral committee, he was the president-elect. He did not hold any executive authority.
Okay, but back to my question
what
about
what legal authority did he have to set up the ORA in the first place?
Okay, I get this.
So when we say that that committee is unconstitutional and is illegal, we are saying that because from the start, from its foundation, it had no basis.
Okay, I get it, but I'm only asking that. If there is nothing to be afraid of, why does it hurt if a government says I want to form an oral committee to help me gather information on people who have looted from the state?
Wow. I am shocked that anybody will ask this question because you see, we are a country of laws. We are a country governed by laws. So unless there's a law backing such activity, we cannot take it for granted. Today is person A, tomorrow is person B. Everybody in this country, including the president, must act within the law. Okay, so you cannot say that because you are not going to be affected, you allow the illegality to go on. Of course, the members of the minority group who held the press conference, we are not afraid of any oral group. We are not afraid that anybody will come to us. And I also believe that no former government official is afraid of this group.
Okay.
But what we don't want is a situation where bodies are set up to harass people.
Okay.
Now, people are going into homes of former government officials in the middle of the night. They are going to their lands, they are going to their houses, pulling buildings down, taking their vehicles, all in the name of ORA. Something which has no legal basis.
Okay.
We are saying that if we are serious as a country, we have institutions to build, we have institutions to protect. You have your CID, you have your the YOKO, you have your the special prosecutor. You have all these institutions. If you really are serious about fighting corruption, go to them. What is the legal capacity of Martin Pebu to be receiving information? We should ask ourselves. If you look at the list he himself gave, does he fall into any of these lists? Any of the list here?
I get it. I get it, John Darko. I'm grateful to you. But stay with me. Let me bring in Martin again. Martin, if you should invite, you should invite anybody, because you say that the second phase of it will be to invite people. If you invite someone and the person does not turn up, what will you do? Do you have any legal basis to stand on to then take any further action?
Oh, the invitation, as I said, we haven't reached that yet.
Yes.
So by the time we get there, as I said, we are going to be working with the established institutions.
Oh, wow. Now you are now going to work with an established institution.
It's not like
what stopped the president from using the established institution from the
manifesto that was brought out says that they will do necessary amendments to make sure that ORA works with the establishment, the established law enforcement agencies. Okay, and let me quickly correct the Honorable Mr. Darko. The list, as we read in law, is not exhaustive. No, that's not exhaustive. So even going to the head of family, etc. Well, you see, what Mr. Darko is doing, can you imagine, Mr. Brace? This list is saying you can go to your head of family. So if you are coming to people who is nearer the law, a lawyer, helping you to go to the institution, even between the two, a head of family who is not a lawyer, maybe does not even want to interface, doesn't even like going to police or a yoko, and a lawyer such as myself, who have shown at least over the last few years that I'm interested in not helping to fight corruption, etc. Between the two candidates, who would you think would advance the cause of the whistleblower? So, Mr.
If the lawmaker wanted a lawyer to be doing that, the lawmaker would have stated that. You know your interpretation of law.
All right, gentlemen.
Waiting for waiting and somewhere yes, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa MP for Northton on also na chairman Emma Ora Operation Recover All Loot and Awada in Sebludo Anara Edi. Make our say so we subscribe to channel area Bomodi say obe subscribe. Now if you like it, give us a thumbs up. Now if you share my work for so now we be here now who and Samuel Koso Ghana memoha. Also bit me otchere wadwin afaye and some way jira ho comment box mo bete minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.